the walk back from Link's house is only like a 10-second time loss at most. So it's one of those things, get the chests out of the way, make your opponent beat you by more than 10 seconds, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, finding the Cane of Samaria there, interesting that neither runner chose to dive into escape there. You are able to, I believe, with the two small magics
Floyd
there.
didn't grab the magic, by the way.
That's also interesting because one of the things about Uncle Routing is if you get that weapon, you kind of want to commit to that escape because you're right there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Uncle Route definitely safe route. You know, you commit to a small time loss early, but you're never gonna worry about, oh, I have Dark World and I haven't done escape yet, and you're kind of just losing the game to another early Sphere 1.
And it sounds like we're back in the stream audio. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. We're pretty excited. You know, Shareen has mentored both of these runners, I believe, and I've mentored Floyd throughout this tournament. Excited and, you know, happy to see how much they've grown throughout this entire mentor tournament. At this point, interesting. Shkoople save and quit from Lost Woods.
Yeah, I like the call. You got no bombs, you got no money. Probably gonna route Calc from the south here. And in contrast to Floyd going in, we're actually gonna see the exact time difference here. But what Shkoople most likely will end up doing will be get 2 to 3 bombs. What is going on over there? I think he...
Shkoople?
I think he is in EG state because of when he save and quit. Yeah. Well, we're not going to see the time difference anymore here. Yeah, he save and quit in an EG state, I believe, so getting hit by that enemy over there kind of messed him up.
We do see a sword, and we did see bombs in the well, so Floyd taking the risk and just jumping down the well. You know, I like that risk because if there's not any bombs in the well, you don't lose that much time to jump back down and check it versus blind set, so I do like checking the well first if you're out of bombs. Also like checking the tavern first if you're out of bombs. Both of those I think are better choices than going straight into blind set.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for Shkoople because, you know, he is going to lose some time here.
Chat asking, how does that EG or exploration glitch happen? I have no idea. I don't know enough about glitches to know how that happened or how it was set up, but
I'm not sure.
It sure does look weird.
I didn't see exactly what happened, but I'm going to guess that Shkoople was jumping off of the hideout ledge when he save and quit. And so, you know, save and quitting when you're like in midair is one way to arm it. And if you get hit by an enemy after that, then that's one of the easiest ways to go into EG.
Yeah, we'll have to see how Shkoople rebounds from this because that's one of those things that early on can kind of throw you off. You know, there's such a rhythm to the early game that you're so used to doing these strategies you've got, whether it's, you know, the save and quit back over to Sank or it's, Kakariko, or Uncle Routing or Sank Routing or whatever it is. That can throw off your timing and kind of throw off your rhythm at the start there, and you don't really want to start off the run in an uncomfortable place. Does grab that mushroom though, so we'll see. We'll see as this continues. There was a little mistake there with the Cane of Samaria, using that instead of the bombs. We'll see if Shkoople has any other little mistakes here, or if he rebounds from it.
I'm a bit sad we don't have a hammer here, because we are ready to fake powder. Especially Floyd, you know, preparing to have no magic in advance.
Ooh, the Sick Kid does have a Moon Pearl, though, so finding that bottle in Kakariko, always a nice thing to find. And then going right to Sick Kid.
That's a bit unfortunate for Shkoople, because that's even more punishing by doing his south route, because he's going to get that bottle out of Blind's Hut, and he's not going to be able to do the save and quit he wants to do. So he is going to definitely get punished for that south route.
It looks like Shkoople going straight up to Blind's Hut. That's an interesting routing choice for Kakariko. Usually, and to the well first. This is an interesting choice to not check, like, kind of that loop around in that C shape.
Yeah, definitely going to be a slower route through Kag here. I mean, it's the risk you take when you say... Well, it's not... I mean, the time investment, you're just accepting when you go in from the south, because you're just saying, hey, I'm going to get 2-3 bombs, as opposed to chancing it the way Floyd did.
Yeah, I guess if you only have 2 bombs, risking one of those bombs for Chicken Hut versus the well or Blind Set are not quite as worth it, and you'll probably find money up here if you do run out of bombs. We know that there was bombs in the well, but if you did run out of bombs, you're right by the shop to buy more for the Chicken Hut, so I can understand where that's coming from.
But as you see, I mean, Shkoople's not super far behind here, considering the EG and the fact that he has to go back to Sick Kid. So the south route, definitely not a bad option here. But yeah, Floyd is going to take the early lead here by about 30 seconds. Maybe a little more because of the EG. Heading down to South Shore.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Floyd remembers that he has that mirror to use in the dam here before pushing those blocks. Not a huge time save, but it is a small one, and he does remember, so he switches over to that. We're going to see that mirror, or that block deletion, probably over into Mini Moldorm Cave, a pretty standard route for South Shore.
Yeah, and a bow. I believe we had a map check. I saw a green pendant somewhere in the light world. I don't think it was Eastern. But that means, you know, we can go straight there. We also have the mirror, so if we do find Glover Hammer, although that's a bit unlikely here. Yeah. So we see a green pendant Hera and 2 crystals.
Yeah, I think both of these runners are plenty comfortable doing low heart Eastern Dark Rooms. You know, that could be a early gamble. You know, that vanilla Eastern Palace Big Key location is one that, if it's a 50-50 shot that there's an item there and you haven't found the lamp yet, especially if you have found the fire rod, I think it's really easy to convince, I mean, for me to convince myself to skip that room to save that time. Potentially an early gamble we might see. I would expect to see both these runners head right over to Eastern after they finish these South Shore checks.
Yeah. This has already got to feel pretty bad for Shkoople. Like, that was... He's 8 minutes exiting CAC with the Uncle Route. Floyd is skipping Ice Rod Cave here.
You know, that's an interesting choice. It is a slow walk. You're hoping for the flute later so you can go back and check it. It's kind of one of those gambles that if you don't find the flute, that's a decent time commitment to walk back over there.
I like the call, though, because we have Bow, we have Red Meringue, we have Samario, we have everything we can do to do a splash delete. So if we ever want to, we can just go from Link's house and swim over to Ice Rod Cave without taking that long route. So it's kind of one of those gambles where you're risking a little bit of time. You know, not too much, but...
Yeah, potentially if these runners are planning on going and turning in that mushroom too, you could perhaps see a weird, wacky splash delete up by Zora area. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's maybe in their mind or in Floyd's mind of, hey, I could come back a ton of different ways to Ice Rod Cave. I really want to go to Eastern. And there's also the thing of, I'm in the finals now. You know, I've got to take some risks and some gambles in this game because I think that my opponent might do it, or I really want to get that advantage.
Yeah, it's interesting just in the playstyle. I mean, I think for the most part, Shkoople is one to, you know, play his game. Doesn't really get phased too much by his opponents. I wouldn't be surprised to see him continue on to Ice Rod Cave here. Floyd, I know, definitely has a lot of routing tools that he uses. He makes a lot of different plays, and he's willing to make those gambles. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see, as Floyd already has, you know, an early lead, and will probably build on it in the early game at least. Kind of see how it transitions.
So what do you think our next item is going to be? Are we going to get a Master Sword and Lamp? Are we going to get Bow? Or, I mean, are we going to get gloves? What do you think is on the horizon? Because I'm still thinking that escape play could be pretty interesting, especially if we find a Lamp.
I mean, the mirror's way too suspicious for me, to be honest. I'm leaning towards a flute, to be honest.
A shame we didn't find that, if there is a flute, a shame we didn't find it earlier, because could have done Hera and looped in that green pendant on your way to Eastern, but nobody really wants to do a pendant dungeon as their first dungeon if they can avoid it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, but with mirror and a decent amount of weapons, we see a shield on Hylia, as shkoople is going to get a bomb refill here. Do
Yeah,
you know
Floyd
what we've
didn't
seen
check.
so
Floyd didn't check that shield, so Floyd doesn't know what's on that island. We know it's not very important, but could weigh on Floyd's mind later on.
Do we know what we got so far in Eastern? I'm just trying to keep track here.
I believe we found the big key and a compass or a map.
Yeah.
The shovel was the first item that we just got there. And if we find an item in this big chest, that's when you have to take, consider that gamble of, do you leave the vanilla big key location?
And it is a powder. Well, we already had fake powder on the table, but no hammer, so... Okay, so Floyd is going for that vanilla big key. Are we sure we have a big key here?
Yes, the big key was in the first chest.
Okay, so he is going to commit to this. I don't mind it. You're in the finals. You don't want to throw away a race, right?
Yeah, and this is, you may come back with Pod. If you have the mirror, I could understand this gamble a lot more than that Ice Rod Cave gamble, which, I was watching Floyd go through Eastern. I didn't catch what was in Ice Rod Caves on Shkoople's side.
It was 1 rupee.
So, not a gamble that's going to bite it, but maybe Floyd thinking, I took my gamble of Ice Rod Cave. I can't take every gamble in the game, so let's just be safe in Eastern, get it fully cleared so that I know I'm done here forever.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to get it out of the way. Other times it's like, hey, I got 2 items. I don't have the lamp, so it's not even in play. Floyd not able to damage boost here. And he's got a dark room coming up too, so this is gonna be a bit
would not
scary.
be surprised to see Floyd jump down and grab those fairies to heal up before that dark room. Does have to do the vanilla
Of course he has hearts now.
Technique for the room. Ooh, that could be interesting.
Okay, I mean, yeah, starting to think that the lamp is now gonna come into logic because...
Yeah, lamp puts Aga 1 into logic, and Floyd is going to jump down and grab one of those fairies. That's a weird item to find this seed, just because it seemed like we were getting so much progression, but then again, we weren't really getting any Dark World progression other than the Moon Pearl. Something like Flipper's Hookshot. Hookshot would be a big tell to me that we need to go and do Aga as soon as we find that lamp. But having the bow, Pod could also be in play.
Yeah, I'm very curious how shkoople's going to approach this.
Floyd having a pretty clean dark room as well, on his way upstairs and going to head right over to Armos Knights. We'll see where he goes after this, because we don't have a ton of locations, and Floyd doesn't have a ton of money for Zora. You might want to check that mushroom location, but you really don't want to go up that area until you have that 500 rupees, I would think.
I think your next stop is to turn the shovel, for sure.
Yeah, I could see that too.
And then after that, maybe you fake Flipper that mushroom turn-in, and then you just commit to the front of escape.
Yeah, and that first chest in escape can have some really important items in it, because that first chest is the only one that isn't glove locked, if I'm remembering correctly. Because you can do really dumb things with the keys in escape and lock yourself out of the back of escape without the glove if the key is in the back of escape. So we'll have to see what happens. Floyd having a little bit of issues with the quick kill, but gets it here. And it does look like Shkoople also opting to do the cape, yeah.
And, I'm a bit surprised at this call. It's not a gamble per se, but it's like one of those things where if shkoople goes here and let's say pulls out a map, with losing that 50-50 and just some inefficiencies in Kakariko, you can already start to feel like, hey, I haven't even done anything and I'm already a couple minutes behind. So it's kind of one of those things you think in the finals, hey, maybe this is a quick, easy edge I can get on my opponent.
And Shkoople does have to be a little careful here. Nothing that can really kill you on the way to these fairies, but does need to grab those fairies as well, down to 1 heart. Both these runners got bullied a little bit in those dark rooms. Floyd is going to go and turn in that shovel, so we'll see if anything is hidden in Eastern via that shovel. I mean, really, Eastern didn't have guaranteed hard progression unless Aga is required, but nothing super exciting out of Eastern yet.
Well, considering the cape was lamp-locked to begin with, it already kind of is like a 2-for-1 package, right? Because the cape's not in logic until you have lamp. And once you have lamp, boom, it's Aga. So, oh man,
Oh, that's
Shkoople
unfortunate.
taking a death there. He's got all his items. He's out.
Yeah, I like this call. Just loop it back in with Pod. You're probably going to enter Pod later anyway. You have the mirror already, so you're guaranteed that when you go and dip Pod, you can check Eastern. Now, if Pod's a pendant, that could feel really bad. But it does look like both runners are going to head up to Escape now.
Yeah, I like the call. You have all 3 items. It's a regular crystal. Nothing really to sweat about. Come back later. Maybe you'll have more hearts. Maybe you'll have lamp. And you'll just have a clean head.
And it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, though, is that Shkoople having that EG at the beginning and having some issues with, you know, some minor mistakes that we've seen. And that's a little bit of a bigger mistake, but gotta wonder if he's kind of now feeling like you were saying, okay, I'm behind. I need to execute faster and, you know, playing a little uncomfortably.
With that big 20, by the way, in that first chest of escape, I think we've just confirmed that we need to do either Mushroom or Regina. To find our logical progression here.
That sounds right to me. I can't think of anything else that we would have to do unless... No, that would have to be it. Anything else we find would, or that we have, would require additional progression items to unlock, so... Which one would you rather do?
I would probably fake flipper that mushroom. You know, early on, you get a fetch quest item. You want to follow it, right? You know, you actually even have a bottle too, and you're not even close to Zora money, so it doesn't really hurt to fill that up as well. And if for whatever reason your progression does push you towards Aginas, it's better to last location that just in case you have desert access. Alright, and Floyd
is going to go to the back.
He's going to go to Darkcross here.
You know, with the boomerang, this should be relatively straightforward. We'll see if he uses it, but you can stun all those snakes, and with the bow, you can protect yourself. You have a cape to reduce taking damage. This should be a check that is pretty comfortable. I think Floyd just wanting to be thorough here. I don't think Floyd is necessarily expecting progression down here, but just wants to get it out of the way.
I like this call by Shkoople to bail. You know, we might find a glove here in the short. You know, and if Floyd ends up finding a key in Darkcross, this is something that Shkoople can, you know, start making up some time.
Yeah,
I think the mushroom right here. I think the mushroom's gonna have our lamp right here.
At the same time, if there's something... Ooh, if Floyd wants to continue to the back, and he will, we could see what is glove locked here or lamp locked in Escape. That is a very interesting find there.
I'm almost 100% sure we're gonna find a lamp here right now. It's really looking like it. And if the mushroom is lamp, then Shkoople's not gonna be happy. It's a glove. Okay.
Oh, very interesting.
So Shkoople is going to get to skip Darkcross. This is a nice time save for Shkoople here.
Yeah, Floyd having a little bit of difficulty finding that rat, but we're gonna see that one play right there. Floyd is going to be coming up on the back of Escape just now. Shkoople's going to do it. Floyd still has to go and get his mushroom and turn it, you know, get his glove from that. So I think if there's hard progression here, Floyd. Yeah, Floyd will have to go and check Aginas and mushroom just to get back in logic.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Shkoople now just as far behind as he was on Floyd before. But he has a glove to show for it as well, so definitely making up some time here. It looks like Floyd's gonna go turn in the mushroom via the slow way, crossing the bridge here. Fun fact, you can kern jump in the light world if you want, but there's no reason to. But you could.
Yeah, for a second I was wondering if Floyd was going to go and get some Houlihan money. You still wouldn't be at Zora level, but walking over that way always makes you think, you know, don't have the glove. That's one way you can Houlihan if you don't have the flippers, is go into that cave. But Floyd about to get his glove here. Shkoople going to grab those 10 arrows. And we're kind of back at the same spot where not a lot
so this
to
is
do.
the thing. You have Aginas left. This is what you were talking about, SEJay. You have Aginas. Is Aginas gonna be your lamp, and you just say, hey, I'm gonna go to Death Mountain and check Old Man and Hera? Or do you say, let's go check Aginas in case it's Flute and the mountain has something? Because think about, if Agina is lamp, you could just pull the trigger on Aga. I think our runners will go to Hera first, but we're looking at a lamp or Flute here, basically. We can also find Titan's Mitts or Hammer. We can also find Titan's Mitts or Hammer.
Yeah, Hammer.
Dark World is still on the table.
Hammer being an option, I think, is a good reason for both of these runners to head down there. Just confirm. You never know. You could always find something really dumb down here too, like the book.
Yeah, confirming your suspicions 100%.
Oh, Floyd gonna do some money, perhaps do some money farming, or just pull that rock out of rage.
Yeah, having only 200 rupees, you don't want to spend 5 minutes farming right now.
I don't know. I've been bitten by Zora quite a few times. I do think that I would spend as much time farming as I had to just get that check off the table.
What do we got? We got a ice rod. Well, Zora, it's Zora time.
Well, looks like Floyd should have farmed some of that money.
Yeah. Yes, he should have. I mean, after this Houlihan, it's going to be... We're still going to be short. So...
You know, if I'm Floyd, I wonder if... How far does Houlihan put you behind? If you would have to have another 50 or so rupees? I'm interested to see if Floyd would go back up to Ice Rod Cave, check that, and use the 20 rupee cave over there to farm rupees.
I mean, it works out well, too, because that's also a good place to fake flipper. As Shkoople misses the Houlihan. Accidentally falling into the back of Escape there.
Yeah, this jump, most of the time, goes off without a hitch, and every now and then just doesn't want to work for me. I don't know the exact setup. I feel like I set it up the exact same every way, but I'm sure Shkoople, again, just another thing that he has to be feeling a little bit right now, like, oh, this run just does not go in my way.
For sure. Yeah, I think he's getting a little too close to the ledge there. No need to get so close. You just need to bomb yourself in. It's not a bomb jump. You know? Just bomb yourself in. I think he may have slipped in last time. I'm not sure. And yeah, Floyd is going to go over here and farm up some money by Ice Rod Cave.
Interesting to me that did either of the runners check what the bush crab was down here?
I don't think so. I know we saw that a tier 1 was like single rupees or something, right?
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that on your way down here, there's a bush crab that you can check. And you never know, that bush crab could spit out 20s.
Yeah, this is rough for Shkoople. I mean, he's got to do some farming.
I think Shkoople might be going up the mountain.
If he did this, yeah, I like that call a lot. You're at least going to get that old man save and quit, and if you can find a 300, you're in good shape.
Yeah, meanwhile, Floyd going to check that Ice Rod Cave and, what, 4 farms? Because unfortunately, $1 is not enough to get him up to 440. So yeah, we are going to see Shkoople sequence break. I like that play. Again, like you said, if you find a 300 up here, you save yourself all the time. I understand Floyd going this direction too, because you left this check before, so might as well get it off your mind.
It's unfortunate though, because if the mushroom was turned in earlier and we kind of did this stuff, then, you know, you might have thought, let's do the Eastern Rupee Room.
Yeah.
Get ourselves the 90 rupees in there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't super familiar with doing that room because you don't do it a lot. Even less familiar doing it dark. And look, there's 20 bucks right off the bat. So already, Shkoople finding some money on the mountain.
I think we're going to get a Hera clear here. And you know what? This isn't the end of the world, because if Zora ends up having our lamp and it is an Agaseed, I'm willing to bet Floyd... Oh, and a death!
Yeah,
okay.
Floyd got bullied by a few too many crabs there.
Not the end of the world. If he can splash delete from Link's house, he's not going to end up losing too much time here. We'll see if he's comfortable with that. Shkoople gonna find. Money.
Money, yeah, money is nice right now. I would not be surprised to see him jump down and get that.
I would do Hera first still, and I think that's something Shkoople he's familiar with, that kind of routing. You don't have hammer, knock out Hera, get the money after, and then save and quit. Whereas if you get the money now, you have to bomb jump.
We can see Floyd not comfortable with that splash deletion. Also, you know, there is a little bit of trickery after you splash delete or try to splash delete after beating Armos Knights. I don't know the exact restrictions that puts onto you, but maybe worried about that.
He has Samaria, so one of the quickest ways to reset it is to spam Samaria twice just to fill up all the slots and reset it. But yeah, he has a lot of things he can use for splashing. He has Ice Rod, he has Cane, he has Red Meringue, he's got everything. Shkoople finding the big key. We already got one item here, so Hera.
That's a good item to find because you don't have a fire source.
Yeah, Hera looking to be pretty quick here. But look at the time. We're about 27 minutes in. We have one dungeon done in the Light World, 0 for Shkoople, and we're still not even close to climbing the tower for Aga. If it ends up being an Aga required seed.
Yeah, I was kind of pointing that way early, but one hammer and all that goes away.
Still no second item for Shkoople.
Shkoople opting to do the vanilla drop down for the big key instead of the bomb jump. I don't know how many people are comfortable with that Hera bomb jump, because if you mess it up, it's really punishing compared to other bomb jumps.
I think Shkoople at this point lost his time in Houlihan, lost his time in Eastern. He's gonna take it slow here. And
no item yet.
Play his
no
game.
Second item yet in Hera.
So we either have a small key on the boss or an item on the boss. If it's a small key on the boss, that's gonna be a little monk ass. 2 checks from Floyd coming up. $50 to smack you in the face, just to say enjoy farming rupees. Here's more money.
Yeah, and Shkoople gets everybody's favorite fight, Fighter Sword Moldorm, and doesn't even have enough magic to use the cape during the Enrage phase, unfortunately. Also, I don't know about you, but I would not be on the mirror right now. I will panic hit buttons if I'm about to die, and the worst thing you could do right now is just accidentally mirror and have to climb Hera again.
Shkoople playing it safe here. He's got it.
Very nicely done.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about the fact that we're farming rupees, and if pot ends up being required, we're going to farm more rupees. As Shkoople gets a key, and we're leaving an item in Hera.
And the mitts.
So it is Dark World access. Aga is dead. Still not a fun item to find.
Absolutely amazing. For Shkoople, you have to hope that green pendant is something.
Oh, he didn't grab the money. Shkoople skipped the money there.
Maybe in, doing... That's why sometimes if you see an item that you want to grab, you just get it. We know there's $50 up by Zora. I wonder if Shkoople is going to turn in that green pendant and finish up Eastern now. Maybe worried that... I don't know why. I would think you have the mirror. Don't go back and turn this in now. Maybe, you got to gamble on it, I guess, but... this is not going to feel good if this is nothing.
Well, he realizes that these Octo Rocks are the money pack, so he will definitely be able to get his money here.
And pot is a pendant.
5 6s at Swamp
as well
and
as
Skull.
Ice. Just 3 bombs. I would say at this point, Floyd definitely feels like he has a comfortable lead because we haven't found anything in Hera that even, there's only 2 items, and the first item that was there was not helpful at all. So Hera might not even be required this seed. And if Floyd doesn't have to do any of Hera, that's just more time he can save.
Yeah, definitely a rough beginning for Shkoople. Not looking good. Gonna definitely enter the Dark World at least 5 minutes behind.
Leoria of Light in chat saying, hammer in Pyramid Fairy, which is still a possibility, and we know that chat likes wishing ill upon racers, so That is still a possibility until we find the hammer. It could be there. I don't think that either of these runners will have
Didn't we
spent a
just see
bunch.
what our 5-6s were? What were our 5-6s?
Oh yeah. Swamp Palace makes it so that hammer can't be in Pyramid Fairy. You're right.
I'm a little surprised Shkoople's coming back here so soon. I'm curious if he is gonna do this dark room, because the dark rupee room is also scary. Yeah, he's grabbing the fairy. He knows. He's going for the rupee room here. I'm pretty sure. Unless he's confident enough in the Octo Rocks. And he's just coming in here to clear the boss. Floyd, finding a map. Oh no, Shkoople poking the Igor.
Exactly what I do in that room, in that situation. You reset that room. No need to chase the Igor around the room, because no matter what armor you're on, that thing will do damage to you about the same. Reset the room, go back in. We'll have to see if Shkoople... Yeah, it looked like he was going to the right.
There it is. Yeah, there's a pot there. Yeah, he's skipping it.
As Floyd is opting to go to the back of Thieves Town without the hammer.
Yeah. What do we find in the front four so far? I've been focusing a bit too much on Shkoople here. I know we saw a map. I think we saw a couple items.
I think we saw 2 items. I saw bombs and the map and the big key. I did not see what was in the 3rd chest. To answer chat, no. We found the glove on Mushroom, so we had logical access to Zora. That is our logical Dark World access. So they are in logic, or Floyd is in logic to get to the Dark World here.
Whoa. What's going on?
Shkoople doesn't have arrows.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Just do fighter slashes.
I think it's, what, 48 boomerangs
pull out
each?
some Aria. Pull out some Aria. Don't do this. Don't do it.
This is a fight that... Yeah, he's just gonna mirror.
No!
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. And Eastern is still not completed.
I have no words. I don't know why you don't just use the fighter sword there. You've already committed. It's a time loss, yes, but you have to do it. That's your 2nd time. You're now going to have to go into Eastern 3 times.
Not even just fighter sword. You have Samaria. You can just knock them all down with Samaria beams. It goes pretty quickly. Ice Rod also. It's only a few shots per Armos. That could take out a couple of them right there. So there were a couple options there. Shkoople definitely getting frustrated.
We do see our stun drop as 10 arrows, but yeah, I have to think that Shkoople's in his own head now. Maybe realizing that Zora had to have progression anyway, so knows he has to go to Zora. But, oh, that is tough to overcome. You just hope that he can, you know, get that out of his head, move past it, and finish up the rest of the siege strong.
Alright, well, we got no small key here. So Floyd is going to escape with this check. Shkoople, unfortunately, is going to be now behind a Thieves Town and an Armos kill, which is a good 6 minutes already. Which you don't want to be down 6 minutes, 35 minutes in.
Yeah, and it's not like, you know, maybe every now and then you'll have a seed where that Ice Rod in Agina's cave saves you 20 minutes because the other person just doesn't check there, but Floyd already found that Ice Rod, so we are going to see him finish up blind here shortly. do have to be a little bit careful, although I think Floyd found blue mail. I believe the skin he uses, it changes to green mail when he has blue mail. And he found that upstairs, so... Does take down blind. Shkoople finds his mitts. Oh, man.
Yeah, this is... I mean, listen, there's a lot of game left to play. We're looking for... Whenever you're looking for a hammer, anything can happen. You know, your Dark World routing really gets tested. Like, for example, Floyd opted not to go into Skullwoods. And he's going to end up doing Smiths all the way down to Hive Cave here. So, something as simple as going into Skullwoods can give Shkoople an edge here.
Is Floyd going to do the Smith first?
Dig game
without doing dig game.
He doesn't have dig game money, and I'm not sure that he's comfortable with the archery game. So I kind of get this play, but dig game is now like kind of a nasty orphan here.
Yeah, you're orphaning dig game or purple chest. You kind of have to choose which one, unless you want to go to dig game and then come back.
Honestly, I think the best scenario is you spend 30 seconds at archery game, get yourself 150 rupees, and then not only do you have your dig game money, your smith money, and well,
never mind.
I mean, dig game is still orphans. We can't take the purple chest to dig game. It's too late.
But at least now you have, you know, you have that first 300 drop that you've been waiting for. Ooh, gonna do powder.
Did he not grab purple chest? Why would you not grab purple chest there? If you're leaving the dark world, you may as well. It's kind of a free purple chest check.
Very interesting. Probably gonna go back to the dark world.
Yeah, I guess he'll take the purple chest down next time. I mean, what I was gonna say is if he takes the purple chest down now, then when he comes back into the dark world, he can do dig game. But now that he left the purple chest there, when he comes back, he's gonna have the same situation where he has to like do dig game first or orphan purple chest. I don't know, that magic bat check very early. I could see Shkoople pushing that off for a long time.
We did find powder pretty early, so I see why it's on your mind. But I agree with you. If you're going to check it, grab purple chest, jump down and check it, save and quit, go turn in purple chest, and then come back, I guess, would be the best way to do that.
I mean, ultimately, I think Floyd, I don't know. I feel like typically what runners will do is they'll go check dig game, they'll go to hype cave, and then you'll make some like analysis there on what you kind of want to gamble, and then afterwards you can say, oh, either we'll go Skull Woods and then head over to Pod if we could swim or current jump, and then Magic Bat's kind of like your afterthought, like, okay, I'm running out of spots here, let's check it.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Floyd go and do dig game and then come back for purple chest here. You know, and chat bringing up another interesting thing, with the mirror and the cape, we have bumper ledge and graveyard ledge that we could go and check. And it'll be interesting if Shkoople decides to follow south here, or does those kind of north checks after this to be a little more thorough. Because those are kind of out-of-the-way checks, and you can loop them in with the front of Skull Woods.
I like the south route a little bit better here, because what you can do after is you can do Skull Woods, into bumper, into graveyard, and then current jump over to Catfish from there. Like, you know, you can just kind of keep it in the loop. Whereas if you go north first, you're not going to get to Hype Cave for a long time. And that will feel really bad as a runner sometimes. You want to get to that density. Floyd's going to grab that purple chest, though. A lot of walking.
Yeah, very interesting from Floyd after making the decision early on to abandon Eyesrod Cave, being very thorough ever since. Checking powder, making sure to grab purple chest here. You know, I personally would just finish this route after dig game, because I would hope that I could just come back to the purple chest with the hammer and do hammer pegs too. We do see Shkoople going upstairs to do the attic of Thieves Town. We'll see what's along the way for Floyd as he takes his purple chest on a journey. I don't know. Both of our runners having some interesting routing choices here. Luckily for Floyd, Shkoople's just had a couple of really unfortunate deaths And also that play in Eastern.
Alright, just managing to not cape glitch there. Good job, shkoople.
Yeah, I think that attic room is probably the worst room to die in, so totally fine to be safe up there. K45, 10 bombs. Nothing exciting. Still nothing that really points us in a solid direction.
Yeah, the scary thing here is if Floyd doesn't find anything on the south route and then he goes into Skull Woods and stumbles like on the flippers, you're gonna be thinking about that first chest of swamp and swimming over to pod and like all that nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at our items here. The only thing that pops out to me is you have Titan's Mitts, you have a medallion, you have Cane of Samaria. If you find a flute, that could put some of Misery Mire into logic. So
we still would need a hookshot or boots to get in.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what the seed could be possibly trying to tell us to do here with the items it's given us, and it's not really given us a direction yet.
So purple chest not paying out to anything big here. South route, only thing really we got left is Hype Cave, and then we're probably gonna see Floyd curl back around to the north route, or I don't think he's comfortable with splash delete, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna save and quit after Hype Cave. I think the most interesting thing we could find here is Lamp, because Lamp would put East Dark World in accessible. Yep, there it is. So East Dark World is accessible via Aga now. That's what I was going at.
Oh, in the book. That puts... Does
okay,
oh, in the hammer.
Okay,
wow,
okay.
what a
I was gonna say I was ready for some bad plays. I was ready for, you know, desert bootless, you know, swimming over to pod. We got options. It looks like we're gonna go to pod. Shkoople getting thieves done. Not too far behind. I mean, obviously still down. Little southern tour and eastern. But if he skips bat, which I think he will, you know, he's definitely going to be making up a little bit of time.
You know, I would like the pod play here. The bow really didn't give us all that much in Eastern, especially now knowing that Aga 1 is out as an option, so that cape was nothing, the shovel was nothing. Having that bow and having it unlock nothing so far leans me a little bit to think, okay, well, pod has 5 items. Yes, it's a slow dungeon. Yes, it's a pendant, but how many times is pod the answer? But we are going to get a save and quit from Floyd.
Save and quit? That seems like a nasty spot to save and quit from. I feel like at that point... Okay, interesting. He's pulling out his hammer. Because I was going to say, either you go to pod, if pod's the play, or you go to catfish. But seeing him pull out the hammer here, I think he's going to go check the tablet and then go over to desert. Because if he was going to go to pod, he would have done it already.
Right.
Another thing that people may forget is we have all of East Death Mountain.
Yeah, and Floyd hasn't made any trip up there yet, so might be the first to head up that direction. I don't know. Without the Master Sword, without the boots... Yes, it's a crystal, so if you're lucky and it's not a boots lock desert, like, you can clear it and get another crystal off your checklist, but I would do I think I would do pod or the mountain before going over this direction.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing a tablet you can't actually reach, and you're going into a dungeon that you can't absolutely even clear. And the mountain has many, many items. You could basically do everything, except for a bulk of Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod and Hookshot Cave. But everything else is now accessible.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this is the play. I mean, I understand it. You find that book, and you think, well, maybe the book's sending me to desert. But at the same time, you could use the book. If you're going to just check a tablet, go check Ether Tablet and do Death Mountain. You know, you can do that, and then you can potentially look for boots, or...
Well, so that's the thing. You only have Fighter Sword, right? So you're not going to be able to get the tablet. It's more for information. And if you're looking for information, Ether Tablet's something that you can get information on. And Floyd's leaving. He's out. He can't Can't do anything here, so big time waste there.
I
Big
mean, I don't
time
think
waste.
red mail is enough of a consolation prize to make that worth it.
What I was gonna say is, as far as checks go, you know, the book is only really leading to information. And Ether Tablet is a lot better information than Bombos, because if something is there, you can come back pretty easily. If something's on Bombos right now, you're checking it, you can't get it, and, you know, like we said, Desert being boots locked, not a lot of good opportunity there.
Yeah, and you're not going to go back to that Bombos tablet until you're going to Swamp, so if that was something important, it'd be unfortunate because you'd really want to find flippers and hookshot before you went back over that direction.
Curious where Shkoople's gonna head now. But yeah, that Desert play.
Floyd
Definitely.
maybe mistaking that $5 for the flippers for a second, went down the stairs to check it. It looks like Shkoople's gonna head up to at least Pyramid, if not Pod.
Honestly, things are looking a lot better for Shkoople than originally. I mean, skipping Magic Bat and Desert, Shkoople's heading into Pod.
Shkoople, I think this is something he should do. He still has to beat Eastern. So why not? Why not go check Pod?
Oh, I forgot about Eastern. Oh no. All right. Well, we're fully stocked on arrows, and we're good to go. I also like this pod play. I mean, you're missing 2 medallions, you're missing a hook shot, you're missing a flute, you're missing a fire rod, you're missing flippers. There's a lot you need, so I like it.
Well, this could be a you know, kind of game-turning play depending on if there's something here and Floyd cuts it off, because again, Pod's a pendant, and it's kind of an out-of-the-way pendant, and it's a relatively time-consuming dungeon, even though it's pretty item-dense.
Well, that's another thing. Without the flute, the only way to go to Pod is via a long walk, and Floyd already passed on his chance to go when he save and quit from the pyramid. Instant bow block.
Yeah, this is just giving me more feeling that something important is going to be here. I just feel like the bow hasn't given us anything, and it was given to us pretty early, and I don't know, I always put a little extra weight, even though I probably shouldn't, on early items that I receive. So we'll have to see, but I think I would have done this pod play. I like this pod play right now.
Yeah, I like it as well from Shkoople's perspective. I mean, you're knocking out another dungeon, even though it's a pendant. You're getting your Eastern done at last. Hopefully he'll count his arrows this time. Having some fun with some mimics first. And Floyd's about to give us a nice look at what might be a treasure trove of items, might be empty. We got a Master Sword to start. And Floyd doing interesting routing here. I've seen a lot of runners do this stuff differently, where you go into East Death Mountain and you have all of it open. Some people will opt to start in the TR portal and then do Super Bunny, and then you could do Spiral Cave and Paradox Cave last. But funny enough, in Floyd's match versus Shkoople, I believe, in the regular season, there was a hookshot in Paradox Cave, and taking that route ended up making you have to go all the way back.
All the flippers, that is interesting. We are a hook shot away from Swamp being a very likely play to happen. I don't know. I'm trying to keep up with both things that are happening here, and my inner desire to see bad seeds happen makes me wonder, if you find Bombos here in Pod, do you just go and do Ped? Just gamble it all based off... I mean, I know you don't, but I want, in my head, like with Shkoople having a couple of incidents that have kind of put him behind, I really wonder if that's something that you'd be like, well, I'm behind. This is the play that's going to save me.
Honestly, right now our options are still not looking great.
Oh
Fire
my goodness.
Rod. We got a Fire Rod. I really want to see what this TR medallion is. That's what I want to see right now.
Yeah. Because we have that Master Sword, and we have Ice Rod, Cane of Samaria. Oh man, if that's the play, then shkoople doing pod first could be really big, because Floyd will do all of these mountain checks, but won't be able to go into pod. With that fire rod, you probably do Skullwoods first. You probably do the bumper ledge and graveyard ledge checks on shkoople's side before you go back up the mountain. But
honestly,
we'll
I
have to see.
think shkoople's heading to the mountain. I mean, you don't want to walk back to village, especially when you have no boots or flute, and you've already pushed off Skullwoods as far as your first tour is concerned. So you're already thinking, hey, if my opponent dips Skullwoods before finding their hammer, they have something there. And you have all of the mountain and TR if you're shkoople right. If you're shkoople right now, that's what you're thinking. You have your ice rod, you have your fire rod.
For Floyd, it's a little interesting choosing to go this portal to the Dark World. I usually will go Spiral Cave and then climb back up Bunny Cave if I don't take this portal first. But I mean, you do get to check the medallion right when you take it. Just an interesting route, and it is Quake. Wow.
Oh man, Floyd. I think Floyd's going to check Super Bunny, and then he's going to take a peek into TR. And I had a fun seed just like this before. shkoople was a witness. He laughed at me. Depending on how TR lays out, Floyd could start bleeding even more time here if he gets baited in deep.
Ooh, shkoople accidentally mirroring again. Having that mirror selected is a scary thing for me. I've done that exact same thing. You know, I've had a scene where
those blocks or something.
I was able to get all the way to Laser Bridge without the fire rod. So Turtle Rock can definitely bait you pretty hard.
And Floyd, $40 in Super Bunny. All right. Are we gonna peek into TR here? This is the interesting thing. Floyd didn't go to Hera, right? Oh, he's pulling out Mirror.
Gonna go grab that Master Sword.
He needs bombs first though, so that's a oopsie. shkoople killing the boss here. That is pretty bold. Must be feeling behind or something, because I don't know. You have all of East Death Mountain, you have Turtle Rock potentially on the table, and you're killing Pendant Helmosaur here? I don't know, man.
Yeah, the question becomes, I mean, luckily for Floyd, other than the flippers, there was not a lot of progression up here on the mountain. So there isn't a lot that is deterring him from going to pod for a long time. The flippers, yeah, you could go and check Swamp, but you really don't want to, and it looks like Floyd is going to go over to Hera first.
Yeah, I mean, this will end up paying out for him if he skips out on the front of TR. Won't get baited in without the fire rod.
And Floyd has that lamp. Oh, nope, just going to do Spike Cave. Interesting.
That is a bit strange, but looks like that will pay out as well. Yeah.
Well, we don't know what that item in the basement of Hera is yet. Hopefully, for our sanity, nothing.
Yeah.
Because I think that basement of Hera check is not going to be looked at for a long time if it needs to be. shkoople doing a good job of using the hammer to hit Helmosaur there. That is not an easy thing to do.
Alright, so Floyd is done. Managed to get away with not touching Hera or TR, so definitely in good shape there. Going back into the Dark World, I'm not sure where he's going here.
I mean, I would think at this point it has to be Swamp or it has to be Pod. Finding those flippers. Hookless Swamp? No, looks like going over to Pod, maybe. It's going to be good for him, but it's a little bit of an interesting choice. If you're going to dive Pod, why not dive it when you're over at Pyramid?
Yeah, I find it... Yeah, that's interesting. He also opted to skip out on Hera when he was right past it. So, it's definitely going to net him a positive here with the Fire Rod. I mean, he probably won't go straight back to Turtle Rock. But...
And we see where that time loss is really coming into play for shkoople here. Floyd has cleared the entire mountain, and shkoople has to go back into Eastern again. with 21 arrows.
Looking at dungeons, shkoople's up on dungeons. I mean, he hasn't taken that desert dip, and the mountain only really netted us flippers, which shkoople will end up being able to do after TR. So, honestly, shkoople's in this race. I mean, Floyd may skip Helmasaur here.
Yeah, I would think if I'm in Floyd's shoes, if you find that fire rod, I would think you have, like...
You have ice, you have Skull Woods, you have TR, and you have half of Swamp.
I would bail. That would be the item I'm looking for. I would say I'm coming into pod looking for my progression, and once I find that progression, I think I would... I mean, maybe I would clear it out, but I definitely don't think I'd be doing Helmasaur, knowing what's in here.
And shkoople's Eastern nightmares are continuing still, unfortunately. Watching his arrows this time, making sure he has 30. And shkoople's gonna still have a decent edge outside of Eastern here.
Shkoople getting a nice quick kill finally on Armos, gets that crystal. I mean, our only options really at this point, well, we've got a few. You could go to Ice Palace, but why would you?
Why would you? You got Cane, you got Fire Rod, you got Flippers if you're Floyd.
I mean, if you're Shkoople, you already got 2 of the 3 pendants. Just hard commit to pedestal, I guess.
Well, the thing is, you could do a ped check with Skull Woods, so you don't really even have to gamble pedestal at this point.
It looks like Shkoople might be going over to that Skullwoods area. You know, I don't hate this call, especially knowing Shkoople's current item layout. You don't have the most hearts in the world. Yes, you have Blue Mail, but you have a Fighter Sword. Going straight to Turtle Rock with Fighter Sword doesn't feel good. You don't have any potions.
I like the information that it gives, because if you do Skullwoods now, and you check Ped, then when you go to the mountain, you kind of have more information as to whether or not you want to dip Hera Basement, Spike Cave, etc. So, the information is definitely pretty powerful, although the walk here is not the best. But, like, really think about it. As much as Shkoople has suffered, like, look at what their dungeon counts are at. And
yeah, I mean...
And what Shkoople's really missing.
Shkoople's really only missing the flippers from the right side of Death Mountain, if you look at just the items that were obtained.
He didn't go to Pyramid. He didn't go to Pyramid. He didn't do Magic Bat, and he didn't peek in Desert. Those are all things that he can, like, get away with not checking at all. So, yeah, and all he's missing is, like you said, Spiral Cave and the sword. Floyd having a little trouble here on the bridge.
It'll be interesting to see if Floyd sticks around and does Helmasaur. Again, just grab that Fire Rod. I can understand wanting to commit to the rest of Pod. The rest of Pod doesn't take that long, but that walk to the boss of Palace of Darkness for 1 item and not even the green pendant, it just doesn't feel good.
I feel like he's going to skip it. He walked past the pendant Hera. I feel like at this point, Floyd's taking the high percent plays and just riding it out until he's forced into a bad situation. Once he has that Fire Rod, he's going to have enough clearable crystals and pendants that he will probably be feeling a little bit better about his chances elsewhere. If he does end up clearing Helmasaur, this is definitely going to become a lot closer, even though it is already close. Shkoople having some fun in this torch room. Floyd about to finish up Pod. We're about to see if he does bounce or if he commits to the boss. We got some bombs. Boss has an item. We're leaving.
Ooh, and the mini Moldorm walking right in front of that Fire Rod shot to get the key there in the back. Shkoople does grab that. It looks like Floyd is going to go straight to I mean, I would not be surprised to see him go straight to Turtle Rock with the items he has. Shkoople doing another one of everybody's favorite fights, Fighter Sword Moth.
Looking really good so far. Getting in a lot of clean hits. Very nice fight.
Be interesting to see if Floyd just decides to full clear up here after. I would imagine Floyd is definitely going to do Turtle Rock first. But it'll be interesting if he decides to come back to Hera. I think it all depends on what we find in Turtle Rock, if that's a play that he even wants to make. Because if we say we find Hookshot in Turtle Rock, I don't think there's any reason you're sticking around on the mountain after you beat it. You'll go straight to Swamp.
Yeah, you'll knock out Hookshot Cave, but other than that, you're leaving. I am ready to see the pedestal right now. I'm ready. I want to see some nice item on there. Oh wow! So we got both items out of Skullwoods from the middle and back. So Shkoople definitely routing that the correct way, lucking out there, and we got a ped check. What do you think, SEJay? Arrows?
I'm gonna go with 3 bombs.
I'm gonna go with Couch Cash.
Oof. So unfortunately for Shkoople, those 2 pendants that he's full cleared, not gonna help him out this game. Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty close. Shkoople's done Skullwoods. Because everything was in the front, though, no real draw to pull you back to Bumper Ledge or Graveyard Ledge. And I don't believe Shkoople did those beforehand. Shkoople's opting not to go... I think Shkoople might be going over to Desert now.
That would be unfortunate. Yeah, he's in the Light World.
You have the book. Why would you not check? I don't know. I still think that Shkoople's not feeling great about this game ever since the early game. Obviously, we know he's not that far behind because of his execution after those mishaps, but interesting to not check Bombo's tablet along the way here. I mean, I know you don't have Master Sword, but you could at least still get the information. I have to 100% feel like this is only because Shkoople doesn't want to go do Turtle Rock with a Fighter Sword.
I think Shkoople's more than comfortable with that. Shkoople loves his low percent. One of his complaints of his last series versus Omega was having Gold Sword Red Mail early on. I think it's because he's just feeling behind here. So it's going to be very interesting when he does get locked out where he goes. So Floyd, we got a key, big key and a key. Hiding from Chomps. And a map. Alright, and Shkoople's heading up.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's in here. If there's not much in Turtle Rock, I think the only play... I mean, you have some other things you can do, obviously. But I would start thinking maybe Ice Palace. It's another pendant, but you don't really want to dive Swamp without a hammer.
Hookshot, man.
That's exactly what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely found that hammer in Hype Cave.
Yeah, Hookshot.
Cave.
I mean, beyond the fact that you can't beat the dungeon, diving Swamp without a Hookshot, just the left side is super slow. It just all around doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I definitely like to see the seed bottleneck a little bit more, just to kind of see the runner's decisions when the checks start to crunch up.
We got the boots. We can do Desert.
Oh, Shkoople's gonna like that.
Yeah, that opens up Desert to be cleared. That opens up Bonk Rocks at King's Tomb, as well as my favorite game, just bonking on every wall you can find.
Yeah. So we're missing hookshot and flute.
And potentially a medallion, I believe.
Oh no, Floyd. Does he have a potion? I'm gonna say no. There's a small magic in the bottom left pot, but he's gonna need his magic for the basement. There he goes. He spends 30 seconds killing the pokey, and then he grabs the small magic he can use with the fire rod. Alright, so we're gonna get a Mimic Cave check here. Shkoople gonna check some of the mountain.
We'll see what's in here. I think the last time we commentated a match, there was a fire rod in Mimic Cave, so we'll see if there's anything as exciting as that.
Yeah, hopefully we could see a nice safety in here. Like Cane of Burna.
I think a blue potion would be nice here.
Or some bombs.
Not so much. I would have preferred the blue potion. But Mimic Cave is nothing today. We're going to continue forward. Floyd does have to be careful with that magic. I believe has 2 cane shots.
Yeah, he's got 2 more now.
Okay,
after that
2 more after that. Yeah, without the hook shot, you can't bridge those gaps. So it does have to be careful with that. I don't know about you. I've made the mistake before where I placed the Cane of Samaria block down on the ground instead of creating the pad.
Definitely. That is something
Don't want to see that happen.
Curious if Floyd's gonna remember to bonk the chests in Hookshot Cave after this. But yeah, Floyd suddenly ahead an entire TR as Shkoople's catching up on these checks. Kinda knew this was coming from, you know, the early game that there was a lead here. We're kind of seeing it develop here, though, as we get towards the mid-end game. Heart container. Compass. We're running out of magic. Heart container. Small key. TR is empty? Question mark? Item on Trinex.
Floyd taking the safety door. Not a bad idea considering you're out of magic.
We're going to see some laser skips in action. Alright, so we got a Master Sword Trinex. We're also going to only have 7 shots. So the empty magic bar is going to come into play here. Curious if we're going to see any problems come up. Gotta be very careful here. Shkoople entering TR.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you only need 4 rod shots with the hammer strats, but with only a fairy, I mean, honestly here, if things are starting to go south, I would take a death so that you could come back and place the Samaria block without losing that magic to get 8 shots for your second attempt, but we'll have to see what happens here.
And we're gonna do the ice head first. And yeah, we're sliding away. We're already down a couple shots here. And we're not gonna get 3 in. Yep. This is already not looking the best. We got 3 more shots here that we need at least 2 of to land. And now we need... Okay. We cannot miss a shot here. We're out. We have to leave. We don't have enough. And that's what I was saying. When you have 7 shots, it can add up. I understand wanting to go for the ice head first. And the death warp with the fairy.
Oh no. No, no, no. Oh.
Save and quit! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Save and quitting at bosses, SEJay. Save and quitting at bosses.
What?
I think us commentating is a curse.
What just happened?
Shkoople
Why?
did the same thing at Armos. The panic. I can't do this. I'm leaving.
Oh
I
my
think that's what we saw. I think that's just what we saw.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
And just to slap you in the face, the game gives you a tempered sword with those Turtle Rock lock boots. Oh.
What I was gonna say is that I know people want to go for the ice head first to not get the ice on the ground, but the problem with the ice head is if you don't freeze it right away, it moves a lot more than the fire head. And you know, we saw with Floyd, it's not easy to kind of get that script that people are used to.
But here's what I'm kind of having difficulty with. Why not just portal out? If you're going to go check those checks and maybe you'll find a sword, portal out. See if you can find those and come back. You don't have a portal now.
Yeah, you could have saved a portal. We exited Laser Bridge. You definitely could have died and saved the portal.
Like, even if you want to save and quit there or get out of there, I mean, don't save and quit, but...
I think the worst thing is that Trinex has an item. I think that's the worst problem here. Trinex has an item, so... But yeah, with no flute, no hook shot, coming back to Death Mountain is a pain, as Chad is pointing out.
I mean,
can't save the portal without the hook shot.
At this point, Floyd kind of has to hope that Trinex has nothing and that he can just do Trinex on the way to GT. But our options are somewhat limited. I feel like Trinex is a pretty juicy target for your progression.
If I was Floyd in that situation, I feel like maybe you consider leaving the dungeon, going over to, let's say, Hera, if you're already over there, and then giving it another shot. I mean, climbing through TR, you're just committing to another 3 minutes or so. Like, just straight off the bat. And it's honestly looking like Trinex might have progression here. We know it's not in Skullwoods. It's looking like Trinex, Hera Basement, or Ice Palace.
I mean, it could have been in Graveyard Ledge or Bumper Ledge all along, but it is looking very likely that Trinex could be hiding something.
Yeah. But you still got one item out of Desert already, right? We're looking for one more?
I believe that is the case. I think that the torch had the small key, which led to the big key and a compass, so we have not seen that second item yet. Yeah, if Shkoople is able to pull off this Hammer Trinex fight first try, that's going to catch him up a lot in this game. You know, very bizarre to see from both of our runners a save and quit from the boss room. That's not something you expect to see from these guys.
Definitely. Is Floyd gonna go into ice after this?
I almost feel like with the play he made, Floyd has to pretend like Trinex has the map and just do it last. I feel like you can't commit going back up there right now. You have to say, well, I made that decision, so I have to hope that everything else is fine, because again, if Shkoople's able to beat Trinex first try and it has progression, you're pretty far behind. And that's going to be tough to overcome.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, going back through Turtle Rock when you've already opened everything is definitely faster, but it still takes, like you said, like 3 minutes to walk through the dungeon.
Yeah. Between the roller rooms and all the staircases, it adds up.
Chat pointing out, in fact, our tracker pointing out, swamp is also an option, as gross as it is.
No, swamp is not an option. You need the hook shot to touch swamp. Not an option. Hook shot's gonna be on Trinex. Sorry, Floyd. Alright. Landmo's down. Shkoople's preparing for Trinex. We got a fairy in a bottle. Hopefully we don't take another fairy death warp.
Oh, man. Oh, and Shkoople forgets to place the platform down first, so Shkoople
He got
also...
it. No, he got it.
Oh, he got it. He got it. Okay, good.
If the magic is still refilling, the game realizes that you're supposed to get a full bar. So even if you spend some magic after picking it up, Shkoople gonna go for the traditional hammer strats, missing a hit, only getting 2 hits there. Still fine. 1. Oh, okay, so things starting to go south here. Ice is on the floor. We're losing health. Fire heads down. Shkoople gotta be careful here. He's gonna opt to go for Master Slashes. I like this, because it's honestly only 1 more cycle than with Hammer. Something people...
Shkoople does get both heads down. I believe Shkoople also has that fairy, so should be feeling okay right now.
Did he not use the fairy? Maybe he does. Where's Floyd going?
Probably hammer pegs.
Oh, man. Shkoople, please. So I think we're going to get some hammer pegs and skull woods here.
And what does Trinex have? Oh my gosh, the butter sword. It's in
hammer pegs!
Oh my gosh, they've had access to the sword the whole time. They didn't know.
Yeah, but who was gonna go over to hammer pegs?
Me. Because I would have left purple chest.
Alright, Floyd's got red mail. Floyd's got gold sword. He's got a fairy. If he wants to go get his red shield off of Hylia Island, he's welcome to do that.
I would imagine the next time we see Floyd facing off against Trinex, it'll be a much different battle.
Yeah. Shkoople, are you not doing Spiral Cave? Did you do Spiral Cave? Did Shkoople do Spiral Cave? Does he have the flippers? I need to see his menu.
Oh man, that... What is happening right now? He's about to get his tempered sword, but that won't be a reason for him to open up his menu.
Just get your dang flippers. Oh my gosh. Alright,
We're coming down to our...
We're not allowed to do commentary together anymore.
You know, it's bizarre because the whole world has kind of been open, but it's coming back down to, do you want to do Ice Palace or do you want to do Swamp? Like, Ice Palace has been kind of sitting around for a while for us since, I mean, not a huge amount of time, but since we found that Fire Rod in Pod. I mean, there's not much else to do than go that way.
I mean, Floyd's gonna knock out Skullwoods here. Shkoople's gonna go finish off Desert, most likely. Shkoople still has a TR lead, so missing out on those flippers is not the end of the world for him. Because as much as his issues in Eastern were costly, I think we can agree at this stage, the TR clear is definitely more costly.
Yeah, having Desert Palace and Skullwoods, that's probably a wash between the two. Looks like Shkoople probably heading to Desert Palace now. Still not going to check Bombo's tablet along the way. Very just interesting not to check that one. I don't think that Shkoople has checked it the whole time.
Won't get punished for it, but yeah, interesting.
No. Chat also pointing out, did Shkoople bonk that first chest of Hookshot Cave?
Well, I know Floyd didn't. I don't think I don't think Shkoople did. No, I think he just save and quit.
That's one that can kind of get past you. It'll be interesting. Oh my gosh, what if that's the hookshot?
I mean, Floyd has a reason to go back up to Hera, and Shkoople also has a reason to go back up to Hera. Although Shkoople also hasn't done Spy Cave, so they both have reason to go up the mountain when they really shouldn't. But I don't know. Both runners got to be feeling pretty weird here. I mean,
well, Shkoople we think didn't do Spiral Cave, which you need the flippers. That's a very important item.
Yeah, can't do Hookless Swamp without it.
So, like, I mean, it's just, I'm honestly just a little shocked. I think that it being the finals and both of these runners knowing, you know, that they're up against each other and all that, I just wonder if it's, you know, getting them nervous a little bit. You know, it's cleaning up, I think, as it goes on. I don't blame Floyd for getting frustrated on a Master Sword Trinex fight. That's not an easy fight to do. Still, I mean, he's probably not happy with himself saving quitting out of there either, but it's just an interesting how this is all played out.
Yeah, I'm shocked at many spur of the moment decisions. You know, the save and quit out of Armos, the save and quit out of Trinex, Shkoople save and quit on the mountain right next to Hookshot Cave and Spiral Cave. There's a lot gone wrong here for both runners. Reasons for them to both feel behind. Reason for more gambles to come in, and you know, still missing a couple items here.
What are you thinking? Where do you think that it has to be?
I think you dive ice here. I mean, for Shkoople, you've done 2 pendants that were both empty, and you know Ped's dead. Floyd's also going to find out Ped's dead here, but he hasn't dove Hera yet.
Turns out you can't read the pedestal with the mirror. Floyd is going to save and quit. I imagine all Floyd has got left to do is either go back up and beat Turtle Rock, which, again, I think Floyd's banking on, I'll just do that on the way to GT. Swamp or ice? That's
Hammer's out. Hammer is out.
I don't like it. I think you can full clear ice. You got Icebreaker. Once you find the 3 items, you know Pet is dead. Just bail. I would do ice first here.
I refuse to believe in Swamp Palace here, so it's probably the answer. Shkoople hasn't done Bombos or Hammer Pegs. Floyd hasn't done Catfish. There's some scattered checks for both runners. Alright, what do you think we're going to find here in Swamp?
The flute.
I think we're going to find a shield. and a hookshot. And a hookshot. We'll also find a hookshot. And then progression will be in Hookshot Cave, of course.
I think we'll find a flute here, and then we'll have to go into ice for the medallion required to go into Mire to find the hookshot.
You mean that Mire is not Quake?
That's what I'm saying.
Where is Shkoople going? He doesn't have a portal anywhere here. Maybe we're playing NMG, and he's going to fake flipper? Oh my gosh!
He's going to ice. He's going to ice.
Oh my gosh, he's doing it! Wow. Oh man. It's happening.
So we're about to find out. Either Swamp Palace or Ice Palace is the play. One of these 2 runners is going to find something. If
oh my
not,
gosh, and he doesn't even have his flippers. Wow.
I mean, what's left outside of this? Just Catfish, I think.
I mean, for Shkoople, no, Catfish was checked by Shkoople.
Oh, okay, then nothing.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we still don't have... What? No, Floyd checked Graveyard Ledge, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Floyd checked Graveyard and Bumper, so it has
So
to
it's
be one
ice
of
or
these
swamp.
two.
It's ice or swamp here. I hope it's ice, because I hate hook and swamp. But it's probably swamp. We also have Hera Basement. We also have Hera Basement on the table.
Hera Basement, we have Hookshot Cave, Bonkable Chest. Those are both options. Those are not great options to have, but they are options.
Heart Piece and Ice. Hookshot and Swamp!
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Well, I guess the good news for Shkoople is that's hard locked by flippers, so he's gonna get bottlenecked into that.
Oh, yeah, you just hope now that Ice doesn't have, you know, the flute to send Shkoople to Meyer. Like,
honestly,
that's a rough one.
Honestly, I almost think it's better if Shkoople finds that flute. Because the way it's looking right now, Floyd's on his path to go mode.
That is true. If the flute is in Ice, Floyd would have to go that direction. With the hook shot, I would not be surprised now to see Floyd go back up and do Hookshot Cave into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we are diver downing on Floyd's side. Shkoople finding 2 items already. Nosepet is dead. So, Ice Palace on life support here. A little surprised Floyd's doing left side right away despite finding the hookshot here.
You know, this could be just something that is in some of these runners' minds. There's been a lot of games in this Mentor tournament, not just the gold bracket, but all the brackets, where skipping left side swamp has both hurt and helped runners. But you always remember it more when skipping left side hurts. So Floyd's been pretty thorough up to this point, forgetting that you have to jump back in the water, but fixing that right now. Not surprised to see him full clear. You know, you are still looking for that flute and potentially a medallion.
What do we got here on left side swamp? Cane of Burna, maybe?
I'm going to go with dungeon item and $5.
A heart piece.
Oh, $20, sorry.
Two items.
Yeah, we see Shkoople here pulling off a nice little bomb jump and shooting the fire rod the wrong way. Does find the big key here. No hook shot means you have to bomb yourself down to the chest below.
The flute. Okay, that
dude.
Okay.
So the answer to our question was both.
Yes.
Both Ice Palace and Swamp.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Shkoople knows that the flute is flipper locked. He knows it. He knows the flippers are required. So the question becomes, how fast, how soon does he go to Spiral Cave?
I honestly don't know if he remembers that he forgot it. I would not be surprised if he checked it off of his tracker or just is thinking that he's done it already.
I don't know. I'm not so sure. If he was that confident to go into flipperless ice, I feel like he has to know the flippers are somewhere out there. Otherwise, he may have committed to Hera sooner. Well, let's see what Meyer requires here. The crazy thing is if Hookshot is Shkoople's go mode, he's gonna skip left side swamp. So it's getting very interesting here. It is.
It's ether.
It's ether?
Yeah, I think that it's ether.
That's gross.
Which means here comes ether. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen what Meyer is for the medallion. Been like, oh dang, I don't have that. And then went and checked the back of Meyer, like the back door there, and checkerboard cave, and there it was.
What do we got here in checkerboard? Just heart. Floyd going back in for the last item here.
Yeah, Floyd being very thorough.
Alright, Shkoople, what's it gonna be? Doesn't have flippers. Not really sure where to go. Shkoople gonna probably do some Bombos tablet. Floyd, please! Oh my gosh! The nerves. The nerves.
Shkoople finally checking that Bombos tablet.
Alright, well... What's it gonna be for Shkoople? I think we have a lot riding on, does Shkoople remember Spiral Cave? I'm not so sure.
I think Shkoople's gonna go and get that butter sword.
I'm thinking that as well. I think Floyd's gonna go head up and do Catfish Pyramid Fairy right now. I'm thinking our Ether is in Hookshot Cave. As silly as it is.
Not on Pyramid Fairy?
Nah, I feel like the game is gonna be more rude than that. Just in the sense that Swamp only has the hookshot.
You know, Floyd walking around with the bomb, opting not to do Aga's Tower to get that quick teleport across the bridge there. I don't know. You could do the swag strats, I guess, but definitely gonna go do it this way. Yeah, I mean, it's Hookshot Cave, it's Basement of Hera.
Oh my gosh, this is... Well, we're probably going to find Ether here in Pyramid Fairy because chat loves when I'm wrong. So, big 20, 300 bucks. I'm right. Finally, I made a call that was correct.
So now Ether has to be in Tower of Hera, right?
Definitely. Especially because the key was on Moldorm. I think that's the best part about the Hera. Alright, Floyd making the climb. He's got Hookshot Cave. He's got another Turtle Rock trip. Like you said, I think he's pretty equipped for Trinex here.
I would hope so. We're at what? 16 hearts, red nail, red shield, butter sword. Though he didn't stop and get any potions.
What's going on, Shkoople? I think Shkoople's losing it here.
I think Shkoople might have forgotten that he didn't check Spiral Cave.
I mean, he has Hera Basement and Spike Cave up there, so...
Yeah.
Even if he forgot Spiral Cave, he has reason to go up there.
Did he not do Dig Game?
I have no idea.
Maybe he just took Purple Chest back. You know what? I think that feels right. I don't think he did Dig Game because he just did the Smith Chain right off the bat. Shkoople seems to be grasping at straws here, though. Like, you have those checks up on the mountain.
I'm not certain that he forgot Spiral Cave, because if he didn't forget Spiral Cave, it's still going to be a last location, right? So, it's not so simple that he forgot it. I'm pretty sure he just skipped it. Bombos!
Wrong one. Shareen, you were so close to being right.
Was it?
It was a medallion.
Are we sure it was Ether? Are we sure it was Ether? I think we have to go back and take a look. I think we have to go back and take a look here. I'm feeling a bit trolled.
I'll talk to our Restreamer and see if we can get that instant replay up.
We gotta roll the tape here. Alright, Floyd. It's TR time. I think it's Hera Basement! Shkoople, you've been in the village for like 10 minutes. Where are you going?
Bumper ledge and graveyard ledge, I would assume. Those are the only checks that shkoople hasn't done. Is there anywhere else it could be? It has to be Hera Basement, right?
I'm thinking. Clock is ticking here for shkoople. Floyd's gonna knock out TR. At that point, he will be up a swamp clear. He will be down a flute out of ice. shkoople needing 3 bombs or so to bomb open this cave. Getting some money. We're an hour 36 in. We're still missing a couple dungeons. Both of these runners definitely... Oh, we're gonna mirror bonk here. Oh, man.
You know, I am a fan of all types of bonking, so I'll allow it.
SEJay, I'm losing my mind here.
Dude, it's rough because Floyd had the lamp to check Hera this whole time. Floyd could have full cleared Hera. I don't think he would have. But, oh man, like... What a just bizarre seed. Floyd is probably going to do Tower of Hera. I would imagine full clear it, and then go check Green Pendant before going to Ice.
I was so sure shkoople checked Catfish. I guess this is a new check. Like,
ooh.
I thought he did it after Pyramid, but you know what? He did go straight to Pod. So this does make sense.
Well, this could be not great. If it is here, then shkoople could full clear Meyer, looking for those flippers, while Floyd would just go mode it.
That is true. On the other hand, Floyd might not get to Catfish for a long time. Because he already did Pyramid and Pyramid Fairy and Graveyard Ledge. Yep, it's Ether.
Oh my.
Floyd, that is isolated for Floyd, I'll tell you that.
You know, chat bringing up a good point, too. shkoople should not full clear Meyer. shkoople should remember that Meyer is flipper locked.
He should, but he's also in panic mode. So...
Well, we're in no mode.
Yeah, I mean... Floyd has Catfish pretty much as isolated as it can get.
Yeah, I would imagine we're going to see Floyd do Hera Basement, Green. I mean, maybe Green Pendant and Catfish could be done together? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, you just go to the Dark World below Link's house, mirror in the middle area there, run over, turning Green Pendant, run back, go to Catfish. You know, that standard route that people do?
He could still full clear this looking for a hookshot. So, despite not having flippers...
Yeah, that is true.
This is... Okay, Floyd left. Where's he going?
Is he going to Catfish?
I would be shocked if he went to Catfish.
Is he going to do what I said?
I don't know how you could go to Catfish in this situation.
Oh, he didn't do Green Pendant. He can't do what I said.
I don't know how you could go to Catfish in this situation while skipping all 3 pendants. But it might be happening.
What a bizarre yet correct choice. Maybe Floyd wanted to check Catfish with Pyramid Fairy, found nothing in Pyramid Fairy, and just, you know, saved and quit just out of habit. It could be weighing on his mind as, like, I really, you know, I need to go check Catfish. It's weighing on my mind. I don't know.
Wow.
Well, Floyd's about to hit go mode.
He needs his flute still.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh, the seed is really messing with my brain.
Okay.
Well,
I was thinking he would mirror there and swim in ties. But...
I mean, that would have been the Galaxy Brain play right there.
I guess he's going into Ice from Link's house.
I mean, interesting choice. If you're going to dive Pendants, I mean, I know it's always a crapshoot, but Hera was right there to jump in and check. Interesting that Floyd chose not to check Hera at all.
Yeah, I was shocked. He skipped it twice.
I didn't see where it was, but shkoople found the big key, going to the big chest now, so that's not a check that Floyd's going to have to make.
That's 2 items. We're ready to go to the boss. So shkoople not going to get too baited here in Mire. Depending on how fast he gets the Spiral Cave, I mean, he's going to be up a Mire clear and down a Swamp clear, so... I don't know. I feel like this is advantage Floyd here.
This is definitely one of those seeds, too, that as soon as both these runners do hit go mode, hopefully they don't have racetime.gg up, because this is one of those races where you can really get in your own head because of the mistakes you've made, and every minute you're looking over to see if your opponent has done, and it can cause you to make some mistakes. Oh man, Floyd having a lot of issues setting up Icebreaker right now.
Yeah, he walked down there. Is he going to IPBJ? He's going to IPBJ.
Ooh, and that was an unfortunate bonk.
Oh my gosh. This is a race. This is a race. Curious if Floyd is even going to bomb jump or if he's just going to let the switch go. And, yeah, he's not going to do it. He's just going to go through without...
Oh man, Floyd is having a rough Ice Palace right now.
Alright, shkoople. You're kind of in the driver's seat, but you don't be a dingus. We're going
up the mountain. Oh boy.
Alright, which check first? Are we hookshotting over? We don't have a hookshot. The fact that he menued there makes me think he's doing Spiral Cave first.
Floyd going right to the right side, right where the flute is, right off the bat. We'll see.
He doesn't have the big key.
The big key is in this chest, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that. The Galaxy Brain with the catfish and the skipping Icebreaker. Oh my gosh.
Floyd gonna activate his flute here. Where was the Meyer big key? Was it a God Meyer?
Chat's saying it was in the north, in the torch room on the left side. So, not a Godmire, but still a pretty quick one.
And we're gonna have a last location for shkoople here.
I guess Silvers could be here. Yeah, it's been hard to tell this whole time who was in the lead, but I think right now we can pretty comfortably say Floyd is there.
Hera basement. $5. You know when shkoople's checking Hera basement to see it's gone wrong.
That's his least favorite check. Where is... I guess he's gonna bonk and hookshot K first. Floyd is going to get that big key and head straight to the boss here. Oh my goodness. Floyd is about to finish up his 7th crystal.
As shkoople is going to find the thing. Gonna be behind about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, as Floyd makes his way through Misery Mire, there is a game I will be telling you about shortly. Not quite yet. But get ready, I think some of you know what the game is, but we're not quite there yet. We have to wait until that 7th boss is defeated.
The bonks are coming in. And with that, Viddy is down.
So with the 7th crystal going down, there's a little game we like to play called the Ganon's Tower Big Key Guessing Game. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower, or places where the big key could be. Go ahead and get your guesses in chat. Those who guess the right number will be rewarded with bragging rights and leaderboard points. Shareen, what's your favorite GT Big Key guessing game number?
10? so that it's somewhere in the middle and some kind of routing divergence, blah blah blah.
I'm seeing a lot of low numbers and high numbers. There's a couple of middle numbers speckled in there. I voted 1 just because I want to be nice to these guys after the seed they've had, but usually I go with about 13. 13 seems about right for me. It's always the slightly slower route that I could have taken. And shkoople about to come up on the hook shot, and like you said, won't have to do left side. We'll just be able to go straight to the boss, so by all is, or when all is said and done, Floyd will be a little more than a mountain climb ahead.
Yeah, I mean, granted, what has happened for shkoople and Eastern and kind of doing more stuff in all 3 pendant dungeons, you know, definitely in good shape to have a chance here.
Shkoople performing my favorite move, which is, ooh, I just hit go mode in Swamp, and I forget to grab the key.
Floyd is entering the tower now. Shkoople closing in on his final boss.
And go ahead and get your guesses in if you haven't yet, because the game's about to end. It should be ending right about now, as we've entered the tower.
Floyd going right.
Silvers! Shareen, what are your thoughts on if you don't find a key in Hope Room, going and doing Tile Room in hopes for a key to continue your full right, or your right adventures into Compass Room?
I'm pretty much completely against Tile Room. So that's a no from me.
Even with the cave?
Even with the cape.
I don't know about that. I'm a big fan of doing Tile Room.
I feel like no matter how far behind you may feel, you kind of have to just stay away from Tile Room and just be like, listen, I may be emotionally tilted here, but anything can happen. You know, you never want to throw away a race to that kind of play.
But you've got a 1 out of 22 chance. Those seem like pretty good odds for me. I'm kidding,
Well,
of course.
You enjoy those odds, SEJay. As Floyd's going to continue doing left side here, if shkoople ends up doing a Dark Magician, he will definitely be able to get to Compass Room around the same time as Floyd. Floyd going to end up going here all the way through Armos, it looks like. But yeah, not finding anything in Stalfos room basically ensures that shkoople will also find those silvers, I think.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could be big here is if shkoople does like Dark Magician strats and the key is actually right side. That could be
That'll
huge.
actually be crazy close. Because shkoople's closing in on the tower and Floyd still has to do Armos here, so that's really the only catch up here that I could think of. It's not there. Oh boy.
I believe that was chest 13, and we're coming up on the 14th chest now. Bob's chest. Does Bob have our big key today?
This is interesting here. I'm very curious how shkoople's gonna play this. If he goes left here, we have a race. Floyd bonking across, preparing to go powder Bob. Shkoople is going left. And Floyd with the key, heading up the tower. Rip Shkoople. Alright, we gotta climb. Shkoople gonna go right here, Floyd with one key.
We'll see if Shkoople goes full right here. Congrats to Winfox, by the way, because Shkoople finds his silver arrows. Winfox, our winner of the GT Big Key guessing game, with a guess of 14. You know, Shkoople going full right here, I don't think very many runners do it, but at this point it would be the right play to do. Floyd still has a pretty significant advantage. It's unlikely, but it's probably Shkoople's only chance right now of really getting it back in and having, you know, a close shot with a Ganon fall or something like that.
Shkoople is continuing.
Oh my gosh. The dream!
He's still gonna be about 2 minutes behind here, though. Which is basically the realm of a Ganon fall.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Floyd. Yeah, we'll have to see if Floyd makes any mistakes climbing up this tower. Does have a decent lead right now, but Shkoople about to find his big key right here. Gonna start the climb. Floyd will probably be at torches, maybe, when Shkoople starts his climb through that door. So we'll have to see. Floyd would have to make a mistake here. Does have the lead, but again, with how this seed has gone, I would not be surprised to see both runners maybe be a little nervous, a little anxious for this seed to just be over with. So we'll have to see how this one finishes up.
And this is a best of 3, I believe.
Oh yeah, this is just game 1. So this does not decide anything. It does give an advantage to the winner because you just have to win one of the next 2. But this is not over until somebody wins twice. So even if Floyd does finish this up like he looks like he's going to and get the victory here, as he falls. Not going to be a huge time loss, but any time loss right now.
Okay. He's having fun here.
Is going to remember to grab that small key. That's a good thing to remember that you have to do if you're only on one key. And I did not look. I don't think that either runner went to the magic shop to get safeties for this. So feeling pretty confident. I mean, they do have red mail and butter sword and now they have silver. So not much to be that worried about as Moldorm.
Get bopped.
Oh my goodness.
Floyd must be feeling the pressure here. We have crossed the 2-hour mark.
Shkoople coming up on Landmo too, as Floyd does get Landmo, or Moldorm, not Landmo, Moldorm.
That lead has shrunk a lot. Now under 2 minutes.
Oh, his land mows are not being nice to Shkoople. They're doing quick hops. Floyd heading into Aga 2. Chat doing a good job of coming up with some new boss names after my inability to remember what a boss is called. Landormos Knights. Big fan of that one. Good job. I like Oro's addition there.
And Shkoople going to Torches now. Floyd down with Aga.
That was a beautiful, quick Aga fight.
Getting into bonks. He's gonna fight Ganon.
I mean, if this was a lower percent fight, I would say that Shkoople having half magic would be a big deal, but at this point, yeah, our runners are stacked with equipment. Floyd, little low on health. I do believe Floyd has another fairy, if I'm remembering right. Oh, Shkoople missing that torch.
He does have another fairy. Floyd into Ganon with Gold Sword. Shkoople getting close to Mold Stare. Something like that, right?
Yeah, landorms.
Floyd slapping on the cape, getting through phase 2.
No, taking some bats to the face. But through what is generally considered to be the most difficult, as Shkoople finishes up Moldorm 2. Oh, if Floyd can finish up this Ganon fight without any issues, then Floyd has it. But Shkoople is right behind Floyd.
Yeah, a fall would definitely equalize this right now. Floyd shouldn't have too much trouble here. As we got one.
Beautifully set up to get a double, too. Oh, and that looks like
single.
Potentially. Just a single.
We got... Oh! He has a fairy. He has a fairy. Is he going to get back on?
He almost got knocked off the edge there with that hug. That was so close. He's going to have the iframes here. He's going to have the iframes.
Okay. Okay. He recovered there.
Oh my gosh.
Still
oh my gosh, Floyd.
And that's...
Oh, he did get the arrow in. He did it. Wow. As Shkoople was finishing up, so if there had been a fall there, that would have been neck and neck. But Floyd, pending he doesn't fall on the bridge here, is going to win game 1. Get your GGs ready in chat. Oh, GGs to Floyd.
And Shkoople only a Ganon behind. Definitely gained some ground. As unfortunate as this is for Shkoople, I think he's got to brush it off. I mean, this is gonna be tough in a 3-game series.
Yeah, with an official time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, 37 seconds, Floyd does win. We're gonna try to get Floyd in here for an interview, but
Floyd's got to be happy getting the victory here.
Especially with how that seed went, I think that, you know, when you're facing off in these finals, you don't expect to win a match when you make some of the mistakes that both these runners made. And being able to pull that win out is a pretty, you know, nice feeling. Oh, they were really close at the end there. A lot closer than I thought it was going to be early on. And yeah, Floyd can carry that win into their second game. Which, I believe their second game is on Friday, for those of you who are interested. And there are a ton of games in between now and then. Tomorrow at 9 Eastern, we've got the Master Sword match between Jocelyn Sauce and its Otter. We've got Fighter Sword matches back-to-back. Well, tomorrow and the day after between DJ Darkwing D and John Bono. Tons of fun matches coming up. But yeah, Friday, Shkoople and Floyd, Game 2 is going to be cast by Timp and Dante. So get excited for all of these matches coming up. Get your GGs in the chat for Shkoople, who finished with an official racetime.gg time of 2:05:28, so less than 2 minutes apart. what are your overall thoughts on that whole seed, Shareen? I mean, there was a required pod and Ice Palace pendant dip. Yeah, it was just a rough one.
Yeah, it was a rough one. I mean, both runners had a lot of mistakes, but yeah.
As we wait to see if we can get both Floyd and Shkoople in here for an interview. Yeah. I mean, best of 3. Anything can happen in the next 2. I believe the next game mode is also open. It looks like everything is open between these 2 for their game modes unless something changes. I think that was an interesting kickoff to the gold bracket, you know, first, second place match, because not necessarily the time we would expect to see, but both runners did kind of clean it up in the end and made it really close when push came to shove.
Yeah.
And while we wait for them to get ready, I would like to give another shout out to Zeke Highwind for tracking this match, for Oro for restreaming this match, Shareen for talking alongside me, and everybody in chat who stuck around, watched this match. I hope everybody's having a good time. Hope everybody enjoyed that seed, as we are joined by Floyd and Shkoople. GG's, guys.
Oh, thanks, man. I don't know how that happened.
So we have questions for both of you. We'll start off with Floyd. Why did you save and quit out of Turtle Rock on the boss instead of maybe leaving a mirror portal or trying a second time? What was going through your mind there?
I ran out of magic. I had wasted the fairy, which I meant to mirror before that fairy caught in. And I also meant to check the bonk check. I don't know why I saved and quit. I think I was just worried if Trinex was important, that was the race. And that was it, so I had to go look other places. I don't know, I was so flustered after that I wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah, what point in the seed, like, was there a defining moment where the seed was like, okay, this is going okay, to all of a sudden panic mode, or was it just as it dragged on, you know, it started to creep in?
I felt panicked most of that seed. The hook shot in Swamp, which Krithel can attest to, Swamp has been our Achilles heel this whole finals and semifinals. That felt a little good, but considering where it was, I mean, I felt behind that whole seed. I was in panic mode from especially that Trinex death, or ran out of magic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, switching over to Shkoople, doing kind of the same thing, saving and quitting out of Eastern when you had a fight that pretty much took you out of bows or out of arrows, and opted not to use swords or Cane of Samaria or Ice Rod, choosing to save and quit there. Did you plan at that point to come back with Pod, or what was going through your mind at that point?
I was tilted because I walked in there with 9 arrows and all the other stuff that had gone on in the beginning. So I just, knew there was nothing on the boss, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and spend 20 minutes fighting this boss when I come back later.
Yeah, that's a good call. This whole seed was tilting.
Yeah, well, I've never seen that glitch before. In the very beginning, when my character just disappeared.
Oh, yeah. So I think Shareen was saying what probably happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shareen, is that you hit an EG state because you save and quit, or you saved and quit out of the Lost Woods at the same time you were jumping off of the ledge down there, which puts you into an EG state, which when you screen transition did something weird with your sprite. I don't know personally at all how it happened. Seemed like magic. Luckily, saving and quitting fixed it. But that's what it seemed like what had caused it.
Gotcha. Now I know.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. You jump off and do a save and quit. That's how you cheat your way into desert in multi-world.
Yeah, go watch in any percent run of Link to the Past where you go into the castle, you jump off a ledge, and then you let a guard hit you, and then you walk into the Triforce room, and then you'll master.
Oh, you should have just done that, Shkoople. Just walk in Triforce.
Might have gotten DQ'd there, but
Yeah, overall, I mean, you guys took somewhat different routing. Floyd, last locationing that flute, luckily chose a couple of really good routing choices. So I want to go through a couple of them and ask him why you chose to do them in the order you did. So one of them was you skipped Catfish after doing Pyramid Fairy and then did Turtle Rock, I think. But then instead of doing, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. But instead of doing a couple of pendant dungeons that were available to you, you just went straight back to Catfish, which ended up having Ether, which you needed for Meyer. What was your thought? Why go straight to Catfish at that time when you did?
I was, like I said, I was feeling behind the whole seed after trying X, and I kind of got in this mode of go check the one-off annoying things that I don't think Shkoople would do, that I think he would put off as well. And if that's the key item, you know, if that's the flute up at Catfish, then that gives me the edge and makes it somewhat close. But no, I was kind of just in panic mode. And after Catfish, I was like, what the hell do I do? Do I do ice? Do I do, you know, go and beat Pod? You know, I just didn't know. I completely forgot about Hera until the end. So I'm guessing there's nothing in there.
Yeah, we saw Shkoople full clear both Pod and Hera. Shkoople, was going to ask you, did you mistrack that Spiral Cave location, or did you skip it intentionally the first time you were up there?
I was in YOLO mode for my early game struggles, and so I was just skipping things that were too long. Unfortunately, that was the one thing I skipped that was a problem, and that's one of the last things I went back for.
Yeah, I think Shareen said it best, that you know the seed is not going well when you see Shkoople going into Tower of Hera basement. I know you're not a fan of checking that location.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was in the Spy Cave? I don't remember. Or the Spiral Cave.
Flips.
Oh, shit.
That was my go mode.
Oh, so you couldn't even get into a swamp.
No. That's where I went as soon as I got
awful. Right. Find that awful hook shot.
So I guess that, one of my last questions to open up to both of you, with this being the finals mode, did you feel additional nerves as it started? You know, both you kind of early on, Floyd taking a death, I believe, at Ice Rod Cave area. Shkoople, I believe you took a death in Eastern as well. Was just the fact that it's the finals weighing in on you at all, or just kind of unfortunate events?
Personally, go ahead, Floyd.
Oh, I was gonna say no. That was just unfortunate. The early death over at Ice Rod. But I don't know. I took that death and I thought, well, that kind of, you know, takes away my fake flipper. But I didn't have the money, I don't think, at the time. So I don't know. But I don't know if the nerves were any more than the last, you know, than the whole brackets have been. Definitely nervous going up against Shkoople. He's a really good competitor, and he routes really well, and he's a tough guy to beat. But yeah, like I said, this whole seed was tilted, and it just got to me from very early on, where my nerves were just racked from where the heck do I go? How do I win this thing?
Yeah, I was also playing on tilt for nearly the entire seed until I started just like YOLOing independent dungeons, and it paid off every time. But the Eastern situation really got to me. It was very annoying to like get into the door transition and not be able to turn around and realize you have 9 arrows was so triggering.
Yeah, definitely a polar opposite from your guys' last seed that was done in what, an hour 22.
Yeah.
I will pass it over and ask Shareen, any questions for the runners?
How do you guys feel looking into game 2?
I just hope we get a better seed than this.
I hope I don't make 3 trips to Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hope for an early half magic.
yeah. Well, you guys do have a couple of days to forget about this seed, maybe practice a few others, or just take a day off from Rando after that one. But is there anything else either of you would like to say? You guys are racing again on Friday. Another open seed. Anything else?
No, yeah, I think we chose open for all 3 games if needed. But no, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I actually hope we get a game 3. I think that'll be fun for everyone.
Plan on it.
Yeah.
All right. With that, I would like to say thank you to everyone in chat who hung out with us. I'd like to say thank you to Floyd and Shkoople for letting us restream you. Thank you to Oro for restreaming this and allowing this to happen. Thank you to Zeke for tracking so that Shareen and I could just sit up here and talk and not have to pay that close of attention to all the items. Thank you to Shareen for joining me here in the commentary booth. Shareen, you got any last comments, last thoughts?
No, I think we're good.
Well then, to everyone who's watching, have a good evening, morning, night, whatever time of day it is for you, and we'll see you next time.
All right, GG's, man. Thanks to everyone.